Today we are replacing the CV axles, both driver and passenger side. Let me explain. One of the many symptoms you'll need CV axles is that under torque conditions, in other words, when you step on the gas, these will vibrate. If you let go of the gas, the vibration goes away. That's how you know it's not the tires. So we are replacing both driver side and left side CV axles, and I am using Duralast units. The driver's side, the part number 6809N. The passenger side is 10316N. Let's talk about prices. Let's talk about what else you will need to make this job happen. First things first, my friend. If you're working on a 2007 Toyota Solara, Camry, Lexus 300, 330, the Avalon of that era, you're going to want to get yourself one of these manuals because it gives you all the information and all the torque specs to get the job done right. Prices. Oh, also, do yourself a favor. Don't be that guy that replaces the axles but does not replace the seal. Golly, do not do that. The last thing you need is you go through all that trouble, you do all that work, and then your seals are leaking because you either clipped them or something. You did something while you're removing and installing, and then now they're leaking. These are the original OEM seals, which is what I recommend. Passenger side 9311-431, part number 4, the seal on the passenger side. Driver's side is 90311-50052. This is the driver's side seal. Prices for the seals, you're looking at for the passenger side. Now I don't have the receipt for the driver's side because I've had the seal for a while. The passenger side is about $13, give or take, depending on where you are with sales tax. You figure the driver's side will be about the same. The axles from, like I said, I got them from AutoZone. They were, let me see, both axles, they're looking at about $300. Now, mind you, these are 2015, 2016 prices. Besides this basic components, you will also need some oil. Let me show you what kind and where you can get it at. Unlike some cars, when you do the axles, they will not leak oil, but this one does. The 3.3 liter V6 with the U151E transmission, you will need a transmission fluid because it's going to leak some. I want to say about a quart, a little bit less than a quart. Nevertheless, obviously, when you're done with the job, bring the car up to operating temperature, not the water or the engine oil, but the transmission oil, so that you make sure that you have the proper amount. You're going to need I use Itamatsu, that's what Toyota recommends. And for the U151E, you'll see the information. I don't know if you can see it. It has to be a Type 4 transmission oil. This is good for Toyotas, Lexus, and Scion, and automatic transmission fluid. This oil here right now, 2026 price is going to cost you about, I had the receipt, here it is. Oil is about $13 a quart plus sales tax for 2 quarts. I got 2 quarts. It's a precautionary measure. $27.92 for the oil. So this is it. You got the seals, you got the axles, you got the procedures. Make sure you get yourself some oil. Now let's dive into this job, and as I am doing a job with you, I'm going to show you what kind of tools you're going to need to make this job happen in an efficient and a comfortable way without trying to minimize what you're going to remove, because you're not getting paid by the hour. You're just doing it for yourself, and you're going to do the job right. I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, obviously, the first thing you're going to do is remove the wheels. And this is the first tool that I recommend you get, one of these right here. Give yourself an impact. It makes things happen a lot faster. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting time. We'll put this right here. Look at this. This happened to me the last time I was messing around with this axle. It was actually one of the reasons why I'm glad I am doing the axle on this side. This right here, we'll get into it eventually. I'm going to show you what this is all about and why we have these vibrations in the first place. Even though these the CV boots are just fine. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. The next thing you'll want to do is get yourself an oil pan, because the U151E transmission will leak some oil out. And the next thing we're going to do is take all this apart to create access. I am going to leave the shock in, but I do like to remove the knuckle. I like to move the knuckle out of the way because I've seen some people will just disconnect the knuckle from the shock and hang the knuckle on the lower ball joint. That lower ball joint is not designed, as I see it, to handle that sort of stress just hanging. So I'm just going to remove the whole thing. And it's just, I believe it's 2 bolts and 1 nut on the bottom. Just do it. It's not a big deal. And we'll disconnect the tie rod as well, and just create all the necessary. Oh shoot, the wheel locked. And we'll create all the necessary access to make this job happen. All right, we have a cotter pin right here on this tie rod. You're gonna see the whole thing today. You're gonna see the whole thing. Hopefully you got a good angle. Let me see. Oh, you should have a good angle. Cotter pin is out. I believe that's a, let me go get the sockets. The nut for the tie rod, it's 17 millimeters. However, do not take it all the way off. And I'm going to explain to you why shortly. And we're going to hook this up right here, like so. We're going to pop this ball joint out. Alright, I don't know what size that is. It might be a, what is it, 19? It's bigger. It's bigger than a 22. It's bigger than a 22. Gee, let me get my bag of sockets here. Alright, it's a 24 millimeter. Slowly. There it is. The tie rod ball joint popped. I'm going to remove that and out of the way. Try not to break any rubber boots. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Okay. So now, tie rod is loose. We can go ahead and disconnect whatever it is that we could disconnect. Like I was saying, the whole point of this exercise right now is access. This is a 12 millimeter bolt. I've done this job a couple of times, but I don't quite remember everything, so just bear with me here. This is, I'm going to pop this out like this, like so. Let's go ahead and remove the wheel speed sensor right here. I don't know if you can see it. I think it's a 10 millimeter, so that we could remove this whole knuckle properly, as we talked about. Can you see it? It's down here, you see it? There it is. The bolt is out. The wheel speed sensor is out. Move this aside, out of the way. Save your hardware. Okay, now we could remove the caliper. I don't remember. I think it's 17 or 18 or 19. One of those. Let's try 18. Nope, probably 17. Yep, 17. 17 millimeter. All right. I'm literally going to remove the whole caliper and its bracket. I'm just going to sit the whole assembly on a bucket and out of the way. There we go. Let me take the rotor off. Now we have a more visual. Okay. Okay. Let me see, what are these? I forget, this is 17 or 18 as well. These are probably 18. Okay, yes, the two nuts. Let me see if I can show you what I'm doing here. We're gonna undo the ball joint on the bottom. You see it? Oh, the bolt is 7. The bolt is 18, but it looks like the nuts are 19. Yeah. Just so you know, I believe I tagged this tool right here on the bottom. Nuts are out. Just trying to put all your hardware together. And we said the bolt is 19. We're almost there, my friend. We're almost there. This is what I mean when you have a proper tooling. Getting the disassembly part done is rather quick, you know what I mean? All right. Well, okay. Get yourself some pry bar. I believe I have these also tagged in the. All right. The lower ball joint is loose. All right. We can now undo this nut right here. We're going to need to unstake it first. I don't know how well this is going to do it, but we might just go for it and take the nut off. And it's going to be a 12.22 millimeter. I think I don't even remember, but I know I have the socket. Here it is, right here. Because I have done this job before a couple of times. Don't like the fact that I have done it a couple of times, but hopefully we don't destroy the threads to a degree that. Let me see it coming off. Oh, looks like it is. Yep. All right, the nut is that. Oh, look at that. And the axle. Ouch. Ouch. Undo what I just did. That hurt. Ow. It smashed my nail. That hurt. Let's get this knuckle completely, ouch, out of the way. You'll notice that drive shaft just slipped right out. Like I told you, I've done this job before, so that spline, as you can see, it's properly lubed. That's why. Oh, that really hurt. Okay, what size is that? Is it a 22? It sure is. All right. Let's take these. Let's take this baby out. Now, what I am doing here, you don't have to do. I am doing it because I like the access and I like the comfort of working without. I'd like to be able to see what I'm doing. We're gonna pop that right out here shortly, and it's gonna leak fluid. Hopefully it won't be too much of a struggle. It has been a struggle before to. All right. And the knuckle is out of the way. Just verify something here. Yeah, there's no vibrations in it. Ball joint looks good. All right, we'll put this aside like here. And now, we just gotta pop this baby out of the way. We'll do it with the pry bar from underneath it. All right, enough messing around. The pry bars are not helping with getting the dry shaft out, so we're gonna try something different. I went to the local auto parts store and got an OEM axle removal popper kit. It's tool number 57305. Here it is. Let's give it a shot. See what it looks like. Hopefully this will do it. All right. Let's see what happens. There it is, it's coming out. Here it is. Now mind you, I mentioned this before. Once you pop the seal out, once you pop this dry shaft out, the dry shaft is going to be shot. And not only that, but the seal is going to be shot too. So here it is. Like I said, you're going to lose some transmission fluid. Let's pop this baby out. We'll replace the seal and get the new one in. There it is. It's out. That was tough. All right. This baby is out. Now we could pop the seal out. There it is. And the seal is also out. All right, let this drain for a little bit. Get a feel for how things are in there. Make sure that nothing is broken. The surfaces are smooth, and they are in this case. We'll just let this drain for a little while, and then we'll slip the new seal in and the new dry shaft in. See what I mean? You're not going to be able to pop the transmission out, the CV axle out, and not destroy the seal at the same time. This is why you'll want to get a new seal as well. You're not going to get out of it. You're not going to get out of it. All right, let's do this. All right, my friend, it's time to install the seal. The seal that we're going to install, it's the big one for the driver's side. It's the 90311-50052. What it looks like right here. Now keep in mind, you see how this seal is? If you look inside the casing of the transmission, there's not a step or a lip where the seal sits on. So you'll have to do is with a tool, or in this case I'm going to do it with a hammer and a punch. Where is it? I'll show you what I'm using here. Just got to find, here it is. I'm going to use a hammer and a punch like this one. And I am going to tap the seal all the way around here until it's flush with this lip right here. Don't try to push the seal all the way in, because there's not going to be a seat that this seal sits on. So I'm just going to, first of all, put some oil on it, on the outside, like so. Kind of, facilitate the sliding action. And we're going to seat it by hand. Alright, like that, and now I'm just gonna tap it with the hammer and a punch all the way around like this. Here, let me show you. I know the room is limited, you'll have to bear with me, but you know, this is the nature of how things are sometimes. You don't have a whole lot of room to work. So you're just gonna go all the way around, nice and easy, and you're just gonna put the seal in. That's what we're gonna do. And it's gonna take a minute, you know. I mean, unless you have the proper tool. I don't have the proper tooling, so this is how I'm gonna do it. All right, but I am pretty happy with how the seal feels. It does have about a 1/16 of an inch exposure this way, but overall it's pretty even in there. So now we can slide the dry shaft in, put a little bit of oil around it. Although the seal itself does have a lubricant, I don't know if you could tell. Okay, put this baby in, try to go straight in. Okay, we ended up doing it by hand. All I did is use the actual dry shaft itself as a hammer, just kind of push it in this way, and that's it. We're all in. We are good to go. All right, let's take this nut off. Now we can put the. Now it's backwards. We can reassemble the whole thing again. Let's get our hardware. Take this nut off. We're gonna hang this up here. This is why I like it that we don't have all the stuff. You definitely don't want, like, you know, the rotors and calipers and whatnot. Otherwise, it just makes everything heavier to handle. You know, you don't want that. Now, obviously, it goes without saying. You will need a wheel alignment after this. So let's go get some lubricant for this spline right here. Okay, I usually use a copper lubricant. It's an anti-seize, so that we don't enter the problem. And you notice how when the time came to take this dry shaft off, it came right off, right? There was no problem. So kind of I like it. I like to work like that. So all right. So we get some of this lubricant on. We can slide this in like so. And at the same time, do the lower ball joint. There it is. All right. Now you can put the nut in so it doesn't slip on you. There you go. And now we could put the hardware for the lower ball joint in. I believe it's this bolt here and these two nuts right here. Let's go ahead and cinch everything down, and then we'll talk about torque specs. Yeah, so we'll tighten this up a little bit. Just snug, you know, nothing crazy, because we have to torque this. There's extra torque spec for it. Then we could do the bottom, 18 and 19 for the lower ball joint. 18th first. Use this one here. Alright, that's in. And then the 19. Where is it? Alright, this one is in. This one is also in. Oh, I also put this tie rod in. Is it 18 or 19? It's an 18. Interesting, it's rotating. I got to hammer it down a little bit, just so that it's seated in a conical it's seat. This thing is spinning freely now. That's not good. Alright, we'll figure it out when that time comes. Alright. Got everything cinched down for the time being. Let's get some some torque specs. Alright, my friend, it is torque time. We're going to torque this torque wrench to 155 foot-pounds for these upper. Alright, here we go. $155. Here we go. One. There you go. Torque to 155. Bottom ball joints, even though they're two different sizes, I think is, what do we say, 18 and 19? They're both 55 foot-pounds, so we'll set the torque wrench to 55 foot-pounds. We said 18 and 19. Where's the 19? Here it is. The 19 first. All right, and the 18 also. 55 foot-pounds. Well, my friend, it looks like my other camera, the memory card is full, so to finish this job, I'm gonna have to continue it this way, the old-fashioned way. Like I said, these two over here are 155 foot-pounds. This is the strut to the knuckle. The ball joints, these three under here, even though they're 18 and 19, they're 55 foot-pounds. And the tie rod is 36 foot-pounds. I'm gonna prop you up on a stand, and we will continue the quest to make this happen. Tie rod, 36 foot-pounds. 35, 36, and it's the 17. Here we go. That's it. That is torqued. Put a cotter pin in. Be clean about it. Let's not hurt the next guy. If you can see, I don't want to be in your way. Here, let's try a different angle so that I got this new camera, but I didn't realize that at a high resolution the memory didn't last that long. But it's all right. We'll still make it happen. Okay, so like I said, 55. This one is 36. We got this done, so we can now put the bracket for the caliper back on, and it'll be on the front end of this knuckle. I'm going to stop you right there, and I'm going to move you around. All right. Next, we'll put the rotor back on, and after we put the rotor back on, we can put the caliper with the caliper torque plate on, which is these two bolts right here that hold the whole caliper assembly in place. Where are you? I can't feel you. Let me see. Okay. So when do you want? What is it, 17, 18? I think it's a 17. Let's get this bucket out of the way. We no longer need this, so you have a better view of things. Caliper torque plate, the torque on this is, I believe, 79 foot-pounds. Let me verify, because it didn't mark it in the break. Chapter 9. Yep, 79 foot-pounds. So we'll set our torque wrench. 29 foot-pounds. Okay, top one is done. All right, so now we can reinstall the wheel speed sensor and the brake. Lastly, we'll install this bracket here for the wheel speed sensor. You see how it's, you'll notice that the bracket is keyed, you see it? So make sure that you install it in a hole, like so. Then you put this over this with the bolt in it. And then we'll put the bolt in at the wheel speed sensor right here. And the torques on these is nothing crazy, so that's what we're gonna do next. You're gonna be witnessing this from a different angle, unfortunately. Like I said, the torque on these, it's nothing crazy. It just holds the stuff in place. I remember there used to be a torque for these. I don't remember it now, but it's the light stuff. It's one is a 12 millimeter, and the wheel speed sensor on a knuckle is a 12 millimeter. I mean a 10 millimeter bolt. So we're just gonna nice and snug. We'll do the sensor first. There we go, that's done. And then we'll do the bolt for the brackets, 12 millimeter. All right, that's it. That's tight as well. All we have left to do, my friend, is this bad boy right here. This one, let me find out what the torque is for this, and we'll make this one happen as well. All right, the torque on this nut is 217 foot-pounds. Just 205, 10, 15, and 17. Tighten it. Put a screwdriver in as a lock. There you go. That's torqued. Now we got to stake it. All right. Let's get a punch for it. I'm going to use a chisel and I'm just going to stake it like so. So that it doesn't go anywhere. And that is about it. What we'll do next is verify all the work, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Let me show you what I do. What I do to verify that everything was installed properly, I run my fingers on it for whatever reason. There's a memory to it. I remember torquing these. I did torque all the bolts under here. I remember that. I did torque this, obviously you just witnessed it, and I did torque the control rod and the wheel speed sensor right here, the bracket right here, and I don't believe I forgot anything. Your axle is in. What we'll do later, after we'll do the other side as well, we will put the transmission fluid in, and we'll run it on the lift, on the jack, and make sure that there's no leaks. We'll bring it up to operating temperature, and hopefully the vibrations will have dissipated. Now that we're done with the left side, we're going to do the right side. It's going to be a little bit different though, so let me show you. And this is essentially where this dry shaft here, I'm under the passenger side when I see it. Here's a dry shaft right here. And if you follow the line, you see this piece right here? It goes into a bearing that it's right here. And we have to take this bolt off, and we have to undo this clip right here. And once we undo this clip here, I don't know if you get this clip right here, maybe I could give it better, maybe some lighting, better lighting. Let me see if I can do this. This clip right here. See, there's these two. Here it is right here, 1 and 2. Once you pinch this and you move the clip out of the way in this direction and you undo this bolt, then theoretically this actual should shift. But however, this bearing tends to seize inside of this housing, so we will have to hammer it from this side in this direction. And unlike the driver's side, the passenger side, this bearing here, the shaft in here, there's a seal, yes, but there is no retaining clip inside of the transmission like it has on the driver's side. The retaining clip, it's this one right here. So let's see if I can set you up somehow so you can see what we're doing here, and we'll make this happen. If I can at least get this drive shaft out tonight, we have gone as far as I want to, as far as this job goes, and then we'll continue in the morning. So let's go ahead and let's set you up and on a stand here. All right, here we go. We'll try to undo the. No, we're gonna try. We're not gonna try. We're doing this. So we're gonna undo this clip first. Okay, we got it out on one end. All right, here it is. The clip is out. Look at it. Look at all this rust. Now we have to undo this bolt right here. Let me see what size it is. It looks like a 12. Let me go get a socket. Hold on. All right, so this nut here is actually a 14 millimeter. Shouldn't be too crazy. This has never been done on this car before. It's still all the original equipment. This should come right out. And now all we have to do, as easy as this sounds, all we have to do is pop the axle out. It's all we have to do. We'll see how hard that is to do. All right, let's pop this baby out. I'm gonna get a pry bar and a sledgehammer, and I'll pop it out. All right, here we go. Let's try this. I'm gonna go to this angle right here with a pry bar. It's also hammerable, so just have to wait for a second. And I got another idea, because it's similar to the other side. We do have a axle. I don't know if it's gonna work though, to be honest with you. Well, let's try, see what happens. I have the axle removal tool. Let me see if that works. All right, this is the tool that I'm talking about. It looks like a tuning fork. I'm just gonna put this baby right in here and hit it with a sledgehammer from the bottom. All it needs to do is come out of the what I don't want to do is break this clip. You get the idea. This is what I gotta do. This is the objective right now, is to take this drive shaft out. May not totally be able to show you. If I can, I will. If I can't, then I won't. Because this camera right now, it's kind of in the way. I was literally at until the sun went down last night with the lights. A breaker bar that you could hammer. Not a breaker bar, it's a pry bar that you could hammer behind it with a mini sledgehammer, and this thing would barely budge. I did spray some oil last night, but this morning I went to where I work and picked up some heavier duty tooling, and we will progressively see how we're going to knock this out, because this has got to happen today. I'm going to try again this morning with a hammer and a punch, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to graduate to a blowtorch. Not a blowtorch, it's a map gas torch to see if heating it up will do anything. If not, I'm going to go to an air hammer and make this happen. So let's get under there again, and look at this. It's still in there. It's still in there. Let's get in there and make this happen. All right, let's try, like I said, this punch right here, and with the sledgehammer, see if after letting this season overnight, anything changed. Ouch. Watch your fingers. Okay. Doesn't look like anything is really happening here. Nada. It's barely budging. All right. Let's go ahead and put a map torch on it, see if that's going to make a difference. All right, here we go. All right, after torching it for what looks like a reasonable amount of time, and we still have nothing. All right, my friend. We're gonna have to graduate to the big guns. Let me pull out the air hammer. I was hoping I don't have to do this, because this means for you to do this job. I mean, this does happen, because from what I understand and from what I hear, this particular bearing is just a bear to remove. So let me get the big guns out. All right, here we go. Hammer time. We're using a air hammer. See if this budges at all. Let's see if the... All right, let's wait for it to recharge. I gotta tell you that this air hammer. It's proven to be difficult with this as well. Let's try some more. All right, I tried with a 3X air hammer. We're gonna try with the 9X this time. I had to go back to work and borrow one from a coworker because, shoot, how am I gonna do this? All right, take 2 with a 9X air hammer. I could see that it's definitely coming with a 10X or 9X hammer. It's moving and it's almost there. Just because I have a small compressor, I literally have to wait until the thing charges and it cools down a little bit. But we are moving. So we are at my 4th attempt right now. I'm about to do the 4th attempt. Sorry I didn't record yet the 3rd attempt because I wasn't sure if it was moving. So, all right, here we go. You ready? Number 4. All right, I'm switching from a 9X to a 4X. The one that I have is a 3X, but this one has a tungsten inner hammer. So we'll see how this one goes. All right, we're gonna use the tungsten hammer again, the 4X, because it seems like even though it's a 4X instead of a 9X, seems like it worked better. So, all right, let's give it a shot. We're almost there. It's definitely moving. All right, we should be just about done hammering away here. This is my, I don't know, 6th, 7th, 8th attempt. But it's out. It's almost out. So, all right, tungsten once again. Here it is. And it's out. Finally, it is out. Hallelujah. Look at this sucker. I can tell you right now, this thing was installed to dry. And this is why you use anti-seize lubricating compounds so that this doesn't happen. I do have it. It's that copper stuff that I use. I'm gonna Scotch Brite that bore right there. You see it? You see that bore right there? I'm gonna Scotch Brite it a little bit, which I already did. And then we gotta slide. We gotta get this job done. We gotta slide this dry shaft back. And all right, let's make this happen. All right, it's time for some high temp anti-seize lubricating compound. That's right in here in this bore. I'm actually surprised that Toyota, of all people, didn't put some kind of, I don't know, anti-seize compound. And I guess they thought that this dry shaft would never have to come out again. If that was the case, then why do you sell a dry shaft in the first place? Well, I guess in case of an accident. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the dry shaft itself. And then we're going to install the dry shaft in. All right, dry shaft is going back in. Just be careful when you slide the dry shaft back in, especially in the hole. Where the seal goes in. All right, it's pretty much in. Let's kind of hammer it in. Not hammer it in, kind of like use the dry shaft itself as a, there it is. It's all the way in. All right, now, as I was saying earlier, I am not replacing the seal this time, only because I gotta get this car back into service, and I can't afford to waste any more time as I have been. Put the bolt back on here. It's this one here. This shaft is still not all the way in, it looks like. Oh, maybe it is. You see? Make sure that the groove is showing. Do so with a mirror. Where's my little flashlight? Here it is. Alright, it looks like the groove is showing, and the bearing is all the way in. We could go ahead and put that circlip in as well. Just gotta find it. Here it is. All right. I guess I should have put this clip in before the drive shaft went in. It's all right, same difference. Just spin it around. Should be able to just put it in with the. Hope you. All right. I don't know if you can see. There's a shadow. I don't know what's causing it. Not a shadow. All right. Let me see if I could. All right. Is the clip all the way in? It looks like it's all the way in. All right. This looks like it's the shaft is in, and the clip is always also in. Let's verify that with a mirror and a flashlight, because you definitely don't want this to. I just had the mirror in my hand. What did I do with it? It looks like it's engaged. All right. We can now tighten this bolt right here, and I believe that's 36 foot-pounds of torque. Just need to verify first of all that the clip is in. Once the clip is in, the clip, it looks like it's in, but we need to engage it a little bit more. Maybe we could push it up with a push it up with a pry bar. You know, does this ever happen to you too, where you have all these tools out, but yeah, you can't seem to find any of the tools? All right, now I know it's engaged. I think, you know, this could maybe go a little bit more. Get a hammer it down. Just make sure that that clip is engaged, because that is the only thing. This clip is what's keeping the dry shaft in place, and it looks like the clip is engaged. Okay, the dry shaft is in. Obviously, we're gonna have to do a leak check on this. We're gonna have to add the oil back in, and so on and so forth. All right, we are looking good. Let's go ahead and put this 14mm bolt back on. Like I was saying, there is some kind of, you have a glare. I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe it's because it's in the afternoon. And I'm sorry, my friend, I cannot avoid that glare from. All right, my friend, we're just about done. This bolt here, the torque on it is, I think it's 24 foot-pounds. God, I'm hating this glare, and I don't know what to do about it. I'm so sorry about that. All right, torque is down. Now you and I need to have a little talk. All right, my friend, as far as everything else goes, I already give you all the information on how to do it, just like the left side, so is the right side. When it comes to how to install the knuckle and the torque specs for the ball joints and so on and so forth. The rest you already know. I already showed you on the other side. The only difference was how this draft shaft on the passenger side goes in. And I gotta tell you, what a bear that was. You saw it. It's gonna be hard. Unless you get the proper tooling, do not attempt to do this because it's tough. It's probably one of the hardest things I had to do as a draw shaft of all things. Once you put everything back together, put the wheel back on, the torque on the lug nuts is 76 foot-pounds. Do not avoid a wheel alignment. You will need a wheel alignment. Once you get everything put back together, be sure to top off the oil of the transmission. Make sure that transmission oil reaches operating temperature and top it off. Be sure to use the proper transmission fluid. And if you have a Type 4 transmission, it is the Idematsu. We talked about it at the beginning of this video. You know what I'm talking about. And that is it, my friend. That is the extent of how to do the ball, not the ball joints, but the CV axles on a Toyota Camry Solara, Toyota Camry from 2002 to 2006. The Avalon, the Lexus ES 300 and 330, same thing. And for the Toyota Solaras, it's from 2002 to 2008. This is how you do the job. The drive line is pretty much essentially the same thing. Remember to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, share with your friends, and I will see you at the next one. Take care. If I don't talk to you by then, happy Father's Day.